What's up YouTube? This is Gail, Check This Gadget, and today I'm coming with a video on my new entry to Storytime. So I made a playlist called Storytime. It's basically where I tell the stories of how I got some good deals on tech, and I put Storytime in the title so for future reference you know when it's a Storytime story. So this is just telling me the story of how I got the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge for $160. So first of all, when the S6 came out, I wasn't even paying attention to it because I had the Note 4 and I was happy with it. So I love my Note 4, loved it dearly. But it's something around about when it gets to like 9 months, I want to get rid of a phone. It's always usually around that 9 mark period. I like to get rid of it right before the new one comes out, a couple months before if I can, to get maximum value. So I'm around that 9 mark. You know, the Note came out October last year, so I was thinking about wanting to get rid of it. The other reason was, and this happens like every other year, I get tired of carrying a big phone. This happened back when I used to have the Note 2. So I get tired of carrying a big phone, but I love the Samsung Android experience because they have the top-notch experience to me. And so I want to go down to the S series, the smaller S series. So that's what this basically was. Like I said, this happens like every other year. Which is ironic because with the iPhone, I sold my iPhone 6 because I wanted to go to the Plus. I wanted to go bigger. So with the iPhone, I want to go bigger. But with the Android, I wanted to go smaller. And so that's weird. But anyway, so I said, well, let me start looking for an S6. It was 2 phones I wanted. I wanted to get an iPhone Plus or either the Galaxy S6. Preferably a Samsung, preferably both, but preferably a Samsung because I got the Gear Fit watch and I really enjoy being able to receive notifications and all that good stuff. So I said, well, let me start looking for the S6. So considering I got such a good deal, as you can see in this title, you know where I got it from. It's had to deals with Craigslist. So the night before, I'm searching, texting people, seeing if people want to either trade for a Note 4 or sell for $350. Now the going rate for an S6 right now is about $450. That's about the going rate, a little higher, about $450 mainly. The Edge, all the price I saw for the Edge was like at least like probably like $550 and up, at least $500, at least $550 and up. And so I'm like, okay, I don't want to spend that much because I got some bills to pay. I'm trying to travel. I'm not trying to pay that much. I'm trying to get a deal. So I'm going around asking people to either trade for the Note 4 so I don't have to come out of money in your pocket, which I felt was an even trade, or either will you take $350? Of course, I got a lot of no's, of course, you know, understandable. But I knew somebody would eventually come around because you got like 2 type of people, you know, when it comes to people selling on Craigslist. You got the people that can hold out. It's not a big rush. They would like the extra money, but they're not going to, you know, just sell for anything. They want that one price. You know, they got the certain price and they're not going to move until they get it. And then you got the other people that's willing to budge. And then you got the people that's really want to sell something because they want that cash. They don't want the product, they want that cash. So if you present it to them like, hey, I got this money, I can meet you now, you got those people. Some people want to say yes. So a guy responds back and say, yeah, I'll take it. I'll do $350. If he tried to talk me down to another price, I was like, nah, I can't do that. I'm at $350 max. Text me back a couple hours later, like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do the $350. I'm like, great. We set up a meeting time, whatever. So number one, he's late to the meeting, which is so annoying. People. For all the people out there that meet people on Craigslist, it is very important to be on time. Because this happened to me like twice in the past couple days. It's very important to be on time when you set a time. You know, like, for example, this is not where I met this person at, but for example, I was meeting a person at a Verizon store and we were supposed to be meeting at 8 o'clock. Like a couple minutes before, like 15 minutes before that or something, he's like, oh, I'm not going to get there till like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I'm like, what? We said 8 o'clock. What are you doing? What do you mean? And then he texts back, the store closes at 9. I'm like, that is not the point. The point is we had a meeting time of 8 o'clock. So the fact that the store closed at 9 is totally irrelevant. it's the principle that matter for one. And I did have another meeting after that, which she ended up having to leave because I took too long with him. So it just throws everything off. So my point is, please, 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 if you're doing Craigslist, because I've been selling Craigslist for a long time, buying, please be on time. If you're not going to be on time, do not text the person 10 minutes, especially if you know they're coming, they take some driving time. Don't text the person 10 minutes before you guys supposed to meet and be like, oh, I can't make it, or oh, I'm going to be 30 minutes late. Like, it's just rude for one. Just don't do that. If you're not going to meet the person, just keep it up front. Or if you know you're going to be running late, you know that you're going to be running late, you know you're not going to make it at the time that you stated, you can let that person know way earlier than 10 minutes before. All right, sorry about that. Slight little rant with the thing. Okay, so anyway, he was late. We meet up at the mall food court or whatever. So he has the phone, he's checking it out. Now, of course, on the ad, and this is another thing, on the ad, he's like, yeah, everything is good. The phone is perfect, never been used. And so I'm already unlocked or whatever. So I'm already in questioning because he said it's never been used, but you're going to sell it all the way for $350. That's flag number one. But, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, sometimes you said people like usually take it out the box and something, but they'll still put like never not used. Or, you know, still new condition, but they technically have used it, which is annoying to me because that's not true advertising of the product or what you're selling. That's another pet peeve of mine. So, I thought that was interesting. I get it. I can clearly tell it's been used. Like, not even in new condition, used for a couple days. Like, it's been, I can tell that it's been, you know, used a little bit. Usually I can tell from the charger how the charger looks. It's a dead giveaway. So I'm like, okay. He's like, it was his ex-girlfriend's or his girlfriend's old phone or whatever. And so the box looks good. I mean, the box looks just like this. I mean, without the edge, of course. The box looks like this. It doesn't have any of the stickers on the side or anything like that. But box-wise, everything was looking how it's supposed to, minus any stickers. And you know, now I think about it, I don't know if it had all this text down here. It definitely had this up here, but I think this spot down here was blank. So his version he had was a T-Mobile, he said. And this is a T-Mobile version S6 Edge I got. So he was like, he's like, yeah, I got the phone. And he told him about some story about how somebody was trying to rob it from the same phone before and how he had to chase him. I'm like, is that the same phone you selling me? And he's like, yeah. But I checked it to make sure it didn't have any scratches and all that's good. So he hands the phone over to me. I'm checking it out. Quality-wise, everything is perfect, just like the S6. I noticed that something was moving. When I held the phone, I felt something moving. I was like, that's odd. What is that moving? Why would the battery move? So, flag number one. Or flag number two, if we count the fact that he said it was new, but he's selling for $350. So, kind of two flags. Okay, so I'm checking out the phone. The quality's great. The back of the phone has some interesting lettering, but it says Samsung, but on the bottom it has some big lettering, and it says made from Korea. Okay. The dead giveaway, basically, first of all, let me go back. What happened was I went to go power on the phone, and it had a command. It had the little Android man. It had the text at the bottom. Now I know how to do the reboot with the text at the top, where you can go through and reboot or reset or all that stuff. This didn't have that. This had the little Android thing in the middle with some text at the bottom talking about some command. So I'm like, what is this? So he's over there trying to figure it out or whatever. Eventually, after about, I don't know, it felt like 15, maybe 10 minutes, he gets it off that screen. So I'm like, okay. So I look at the screen, and I can instantly tell, I'm like, this is a replica. I'm like, is this a replica? I'm going to ask him, you know, is this a replica? See if he tells the truth. No, it's not a replica. It clearly was. The reason I can instantly tell was the screen. Everybody knows the S6 has the best screen out on the market right now. At like, what is it, 526 or either 526 or 547-ish, some 500 something pixels per inch. Best screen on the market. This screen looked like it wasn't even close. Let's just say that it wasn't even close. And when I clicked on some white, you can see like lines. It was bad. So that was an instant dead giveaway. So I'm like, this is a replica. You know, I know it's not. I'm like, yeah. Because also the little camera icon, I was able to see some pixels on it, so that was weird. And then somehow I clicked up the keyboard. The keyboard didn't even have the new Android keyboard. It had the old style Android keyboard. You know, like remember the gray one from like, what is this? And when Android had like back 2 dot and all that stuff, like that gray. And I'm like, oh man, these replica companies are getting good, because the box looked pretty legit. The phone felt just like a S6 would, but where they screwed up was the screen and the software. So that was that. Basically, we said a little more because he had the same phone. He's also a replica, most likely, but I was trying to show him the command screen. He was like, oh, that phone does that. I put it in there, and he ended up putting his phone in the same command screen, and he couldn't get his out of it. So by the time we left, he still didn't have his out of it. But yeah, so basically he act like he got them from Amazon. He didn't know all this stuff. And do I believe it? I don't know. I like to try to see the good in people, but he probably knew they was replicas. Like, he kept on saying it's made in Korea. Like, no, if you see on her in the box, it's made in, this has Vietnam. But the way I knew it was fake is it had some big, like, it didn't have Galaxy S6 on it at all on the back. It had like big CE numbers with the little trash can symbol, you know, that be on boxes. It had that on the back of it. So I'm like, these are dead giveaways. So I basically told him like 3 easy giveaways that these were a replica. Like, the quality is good, but the software and all that, those are 3 dead giveaways that's a replica. So basically that was time wasted, gas wasted. So I'm like, Then I get an email. It was crazy. I got an email. I ate some food real quick. Then I got an email. I was heading back to my car, walking through the mall, heading to the car. It was from somebody I emailed before the previous night. Like, hey, do you still want an S6? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to buy one right now. So eventually I had to go to work. We're texting or whatever, or emailing back and forth, texting or whatever. So I get to this guy, or I texting him, like, do you want the phone? Call, talk to him, whatever. He goes on a quick rant about, you know, being screwed or played with people Craigslist before, and how he some American gun toting and all this other extra junk. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm legit. Basically, I kept up front with him, and because he originally had it listed for $500. He didn't have the pictures on his ad. He said he'll email him or whatever. So he had a list for $500, but also on the ad he said, if I don't have it sold by Friday, I'm going out on $400. So that's why I sent him $350, because I was like, well, if you're going down to $400, what's another $50 if you don't get it sold by Friday? This transaction happened on Wednesday, I believe. So I mean, it's close enough to Friday. So basically, I told him up front though, because he was like texting, yeah, if you come to me, I sell it down, drop $50, I sell it for the $450. I told him straight up in a text message before I talked to him. I'm like, I got $350. I can meet you now, but what you want to do? Because, you know, I'm not trying to BS. I don't like to go meet someone and then try to, you know, talk them down on their price. I mean, I do that. I will try that sometimes, but usually not nothing when it comes to like phones or something like that, or very high priced products. I usually like to have that negotiation done beforehand. Because I've had people try to do that to me, and I'm like, well, you should have did that when we were texting. We agreed on the price, and that's what it is. And I've always had people try to talk me down. I'm a seasoned Craigslist seller, so it doesn't work with me. But I've talked a couple people down. But I will only talk people down on a phone or a tablet if I'm buying used, if it doesn't match up with the description. For example, if they say the phone is in perfect condition, and that people can use perfect how they want. So I say no scratches, no dings, no nicks. No. I get there, the phone has some scratches on the corners and stuff like that. I'm like, I thought you said no scratches, no dings, no nicks. Well, I mean, that's not too bad. Hey, I asked about that. So that's when I started ducking some money down. 10, 20, whatever. So money's going to get taken off because you didn't advertise what you're supposed to be. So that's the only time I'll negotiate on price. So up front, I let them know, hey, I got $350. You know, I don't have the 450 that you're talking about. Text me. I do have 350. I can meet you right now. What's up? That's when he asked me to call him. That's when he had the phone conversation. He had his little mini rant. I'm like, yeah. I can come to where you at. Meet you in 20 minutes. Okay, so I get there. He comes out, has a little backpack on or whatever. We go to his car. We're in a parking lot, but it's like in front of restaurants. A couple people outside, so decent. Usually I meet in like public places. I like to usually meet at like a gas station, McDonald's. Usually if I'm doing like a high item, I prefer to meet inside somewhere. But if it's daytime and the parking lot is a lot of people around, I can do that too. So, but yeah, this is nighttime. It was in a parking lot. Like I said, it was in a nice little restaurant area. A couple people outside. So, I wasn't tripping too bad. I'm a good judge of, I can judge character very good. So, my intuition is excellent. So, I never had any problems when I sell on Craigslist. And I put myself in some really retarded situations. But I never had an intuition tell me, you know, get out of there. So, we're talking or whatever. Long story short, he has this edge. He doesn't want it. He was upset with T-Mobile. You know, bill too high, blah, blah, blah. He's with someone else now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, why didn't you just take the phone from T-Mobile to AT&T? Because he went to AT&T. He's like, I didn't want the phone. Then he said something about his ex-girl or ex-wife or something trying to take all the money from him. So I'm like, okay, this phone is basically bring up bad memories for you. So anyway, the phone was in pretty good condition, as he described it. He said he did drop it once, which he didn't tell me up front. He didn't tell me that to the conversation, till we had the phone conversation, which at that point I was basically going to meet him. So I'm like, I'm really don't like dealing with drop phones, but I'll go check it out, see what the deal is. He said he had a case. He didn't have the headphones. He had the box. See here, charge all that good stuff, which, you know, everything was good in the box. There's nothing in the box, but you know, yeah, he gave me the right charger. Now I got two of these. I love these chargers. They're fantastic. So he had all that. He gave me this little case here, which I haven't tried. Now on this case, you can definitely see some wear and tear. Like you can see that if you pay attention. And then he didn't have the headphones, but he gave me this Gear Circle, which I'm not a big Bluetooth person. I mean, I have a Bluetooth, but I'm not. I know most of these have that like little in-ear, and I'm not a big fan of these. So I'm gonna try them. Cleaned them off. I might clean them off. Try to clean them off again. I mean, I'm really not a fan of using any type of earbuds that's been in someone else's ear, but I've been interested in a pair of these. I've looked at the LG Tones, and I wasn't like too happy with the quality, because you really got to get them all the way in your ear to like enjoy the music. So gave me these, and here's the edge. It is an edge. Everything was good. Only thing was, like I said, with the top. Oh, you're not gonna focus for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I don't even know if you can really even see it, because some little marks right here and right here on the SIM card. Okay, it doesn't want to participate, but basically I checked the IMEI. The IMEI came back as finance phone. So I'm like, it's coming back financing. He's like, oh, what does that mean? Like, I paid the phone off. I did leave a balance with T-Mobile, but I paid the phone off. He left a bill balance, but he paid the phone off. So I'm like, well, yeah, usually if you do that, that's supposed to be as two different things. So you need to contact T-Mobile about that. But yeah, as of right now, the phone is financed. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and put my SIM card in there anyway and just see. Put my SIM card in there, make a phone call that works, internet works, play a YouTube video, everything is working. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, you know, the IMEI is bad. You know, if I try to take this phone or go to T-Mobile and get it activated, you search up the IMEI, they're not going to activate it because it's financed to somewhere, but my SIM card is working. I'm using GoSmart in here. which is you can see here, Go Smart, which is under T-Mobile. And so he's like, okay, well, I want to get rid of this phone. You know, I want to get rid of this phone. I want to get rid of it today. I want to get rid of it. What can we do? So I'm like, you know, now I'm going into sales tactic mode. So of course, instantly in my mind, I'm gunning for the lowest possible price. The lowest possible price. So I just let him do all the speaking. He's like, yeah, you probably, you know, want to offer me 60 or something, but I'm not going to do that. I want like 200 or something. So I think he started like 2 something. And I'm like, nah. Like, I think he said like 250 he started at. And I'm like, nah. Then he went down to like 190. I'm like, nah. Then I was like, I think that's when I offered him 150. I think that was I think that's the only offer I said was 150. And he was like, I want 170. And I'm like, come on, do the 150. He's like, nah, I won't do the 150. So at that point, I could have kept pushing, but I know when I see a good opportunity. So, you know, 170, you know, I'm not going over $20 for this good deal. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead. So I went back to the car to go get some more money because I had all $100 bills on me. Because I thought it was going to be legit. I thought I was paying $350. I came back. I give him the money in his hand. I gave him the money in his hand before. So that's why he was already into the 100. You know, it's something about putting the money in people's hands. It's a good sales tactic. Then I gave him the money. Said, are you going to count it? Because I had put 160. He wanted 170. He said, this 160. I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's that? I said 170. I'm like, meet at the middle. I want 150. You want 170? Meet in the middle of 160. Compromise. And then he was like, I thought we said 260. And I'm like, what? No, you all the way off. It was kind of like he just like automatically had a switch or something. I don't know if he was drunk because I know he was having a friend's birthday party. That's where I had to meet him at the restaurant. So I was like, and what? No, you just totally switched. And then he was like, okay, maybe you did say, I'm gonna take your word. And I'm like, let me hurry up and get this done with. And so, long story short, I end up getting it for the 160. He did have his gun on him. He had his gun in his backpack because he had his door open because we had to charge it because it was going dead. And I see him taking his gun. And I'm like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm just putting it in the backpack. So when he came to the car, he had that backpack on. Apparently the gun was in the backpack. I don't know what he thought. I guess he was concerned because his cousin kept calling him too. So I guess he was concerned. But I'm like, I'm a chick. Like, there's nothing I can do to you. I guess he was still thrown off when I answered the phone because he's probably expecting the guy. Like, most people usually expect the guy, and sometimes when they see me, they be like, oh, I don't know what that's all about. Which I can understand because I can understand why females won't want to deal with Craigslist. I can understand when people, period, won't want to deal with Craigslist with some of the stories I've gone through. Particularly this one. This transaction, like, this was like a whole, it felt like 20 minutes at least conversation, maybe 30. And so yeah, he puts the gun in the backpack. We walk. Sorry about that. The video cut off. I didn't know I had a limit. I've never recorded a video that long on my I'm using the Sony Mark III, the RX100 Mark III. So apparently there's a limit. But anyway, which means this video is too long. But it's story time, so deal with it. But so yeah, somewhere in a conversation when we're doing all this negotiation, he gave me compliments on my salesman skills, I guess. And told me about a company he worked for and how he wants me to go apply and put his name down because he gets a 25 kickback and he'll be willing to split that with me. It was just a lot going on in this Craigslist sale, and sometimes you have those. I usually try not to have those, but every once in a while I come around these very interesting people and we have very interesting conversations when all I want to do is sell the product and be gone. But you know, I come across those. So I might should tag this as a crazy Craigslist story. But yeah, so that's how I got the Samsung S6 Edge. And I'm so happy at the Edge. Like, this is the one I really want. I really didn't want the S6. I really wanted the Edge because I really wanted the Note Edge when it came out last year. But I was just so impatient that I just had to go ahead and get the Note 4. Because at that time when I got the Note 4, it wasn't for sure when the Edge was coming out. It hadn't had an official release date yet. And Best Buy had a promo in which you can submit $200, any phone, and get $200 off the Note 4, which I did. I submitted basically a piece of trash, Palm Pre. I don't know if I told you, but I think I did tell that in one of my the Samsung story. Yeah, so that was how I ended up getting a Note. But I had really wanted the curve, the edge originally, so that's why I wanted the edge for this one. Unfortunately, the edge on here is not as exciting as the one on the Note, which is a bummer. But I'm a fan of aesthetics, and this is perfect. I just love it dearly. It just looks so good, just sitting there with the curves, and the curves feel so well. There's no screen protector on here right now. I'm glad he did have like some type of screen matte finish on the back here, which definitely helps with the grip. I know a lot of people say in the reviews that this was not easy to hold, or uncomfortable to hold, because it feels like the sharpness going to your hand. I don't mind it. It feels fine to me. And this really helps, because I feel like I have some type of grip a little bit, as far as having my finger back here to help with that. So it doesn't feel too bad to me. It's fine for me. But yeah, so that's a crazy Craigslist story. Now, of course, people want to say, well, you can't really do nothing with it because, or people might say, well, it has a bad IMEI. Well, the IMEI is not blacklisted, it's just under finance, which, of course, I'm taking the risk that at any time T-Mobile can cut the plug in and the phone no longer works. That is a risk I'm taking. Right now, it's working with my Go Smart fine, but that risk is there. However, at that low amount that I have, I bought it for $160. I can still sell this phone for exactly $160, or probably even more, actually. At least probably $200. Somebody will still buy this phone either for parts, or because they know someone that will do that type of stuff to change the IMEI. So either way, you know, some people wouldn't take that risk, which is understandable, especially if you're like on a contract or something. But with the SIM cards, it really doesn't matter anymore. So I can take that risk. I took the risk because I put my SIM card in there and it was working. It is still working. We're like 3-4 days going now. And, you know, if it does ever stop, I know I can at least sell it for the $160 I paid and get my money back. So it's kind of like a win-win situation for me. It's like you can't pass on such a good deal, especially with the Edge. With the Edge being $100 more than the S6 and looking more better, you know, you can't pass on that deal, especially for $160. Like, I'm not going to pass on it just because it has a bad IMEI or under finance, but my SIM card is working. If my SIM card is in there working and it's making calls and going on the internet, then I'm good. And if anything does happen, I'll just put it on Craigslist for at least $160, probably $200, and somebody will buy it. I know for sure. Done it before. With bad IMEI, somebody will buy it. That's why I got it. That's why I made sure I got it such a low price. I wouldn't have paid $250 for this, because then that's pushing it up there and pushing the risk too high. At $160, you know, I wish I would have got it for the $150, but at $160 for this phone, I'll take it. Even if just to have this phone just to look at and just use it as like an MP3 player. I mean, somebody will buy this phone. It just looks that good. So that has been my story on how I got the Galaxy S6 Edge for $160. Thumbs up this video if you enjoy story time with Gail. And the Gear Circle, I looked this up. This like, what, when this first came out, they were apparently like $100. Now they're like $50, $60. So guess I got a good deal on that too. So I got the Gear Circle and the Galaxy S6 Edge for $160 in this little case, which is apparently designed by Samsung. I don't know if you can see that. You can't. Designed by Samsung. So that's the deal I came out with for $160. Thumbs up if you think I did it. If you think I got an excellent deal. Thumbs up this video if you think I got an excellent deal. If you enjoy this story time, thumbs it up, and look forward to more. Till next time, guys. Peace.